information I'm going to give you today fits across the board for all sports. This is the ultimate guide to play Division I sports in college. If playing Division I sports is your #1 priority, listen, I get it. I've been there before and I understand. Now, I always tell people to find the best fit for you, and if that's Division I sports, then so be it. But don't be so fixated on it has to be Division I, because you'll miss out on a lot of opportunities. But if you're telling me, nah, Bill, I need to be Division I, I'm a Division I player, I got you. 5 things today I'm going to give you that's going to help you increase your odds tremendously across any sport. It doesn't matter, basketball, football, wrestling, diving, volleyball, whatever sport. First thing is this: don't pick a sport. Let the sport pick you. That's going to give you a head start on the competition. In middle school, this is the time that you get to experiment and figure out what sports that you have a knack for. Once you get to your 10th grade year, this is the time when you need to hone in on the sport that you have natural gifts in. Not the sport that you like, but the sport you have natural gifts in. Because the sport that you like, you may not be very good at. It just may not be your sport. That's fine. I can't tell you how many times I've run into football players that said, you know what, I really like basketball, but I have more opportunities and more offers with football. So being honest with yourself and let the sport pick you. Sometimes you just have natural skill sets, natural talent that lends to a certain sport. But you may not like that sport. But if you're serious about going Division I, we got to put your feelings aside. We got to go for what actually has an outcome that's going to get you more offers than playing Division I. The second one is this: you need to make sure whatever sport that you end up playing, you're playing your natural position that will get you at the level you need to be in. Now, this video is for all sports, but I'm just going to use basketball for right now. If you're a boy in high school, you're 6'1", and you want to play Division I basketball, but your coach has you playing 4 or center, that's not going to get you to play Division I basketball. Now, some of you that love to argue in the comments, I know they're going to say, well, what about this person, and this person? I'm not giving you information based off of like unicorn experiences. I'm giving you general information that is for the mass. So what I'm saying is, if you're not playing your natural position, then you got to understand that you need to do one of 2 things. You need to either change sports or change coaches and have a coach play you at the position that's going to get you at the next level as far as Division I is concerned. You need to be playing the position that's going to actually get you more looks at the Division I level. What's marketability wise? What's going to give you more views? This point goes directly into my third point, and that is this: you need to be playing in a position where you can get deliberate practice. I just now read this book called Grit.
This book opened my eyes to a lot of things as it relates to getting the most out of your practice. If you haven't picked up this book, make sure you stop by Amazon and check it out. If you're not a reader, much like I wasn't when I was growing up, you can check it out on Audible as well and just have it read to you. Audiobooks is a perfect substitute for those that may not love reading, and I really enjoyed it, and I know you'll get a lot of information and just a lot of ways of how to structure your practice times based off deliberate practice. I am an Amazon associate now, so I earn qualifying purchases using the links that I provide below.
Now, when I was coming up, you would hear stories about these legendary basketball players that spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours in the gym. And it sounds great. Everybody wants to duplicate it. I was in there trying to get up 1,000 shots, 1,000 makes, right? And doing these things that I heard these NBA athletes are doing. But here's the thing. You need to have deliberate practice. Deliberate practice, meaning you need to be able to, instead of a machine gun spraying everything, you want to go in there like 007, laser-like focus on exactly what you need to get done. Instead of just saying I'm going to get a certain amount of shots, I'm going to work on just my mechanics, just my follow through, and that's all I'm working on, right? That laser-like focus that you can just focus on that one thing, because that's how you get better. If you are doing broad strokes and doing all this random stuff, 1 minute you're doing hezzies, the next minute you're doing jump hooks, the next minute you're doing floaters, the next minute you're doing pullbacks, step backs, the next minute you're doing half court shots, the next minute you're just throwing backward shots, the next minute you try your soccer skills out, you're going nowhere fast. So deliberate practice, and this goes back to the second point. These two are together. If you're not playing the position that you're going to play at a Division I level, then it's very difficult, if not impossible, to get deliberate practice. You need to have the chance to get deliberate, laser-like, super focused practice. When they go in there and put in deliberate practice, they're not in there for very long. And they can be out of there in 2 hours, out of there in an hour and a half. They're consistent. They do it the next day and the next day and the next day, but they're not putting in no 5 hours, 8 hours, just shooting around, jacking around, doing things. And again, I'm talking about basketball because I'm just going to stick to one sport, but this is any sport. I've talked to softball players that had that same mentality. Baseball, football have that same mentality. When they get in, they're deliberate about what they need to do. They're not jacking around. They're not shooting the breeze. They get straight to that very focus area they need to work on. And then guess what? They get out. And you're going to save yourself a lot of time doing that. Number 4, this kind of goes without saying, but you got to play against Division I talent and fare well. You got to do well in Division I talent. It's one thing to say I want to go Division I. It's one thing to put it on your social media handles, to put it on your statuses and whatnot, but it's another to be able to hold your own going against people that are bigger, stronger, and better than you. Please understand that you saying that, my high school doesn't have that type of competition is no excuse. I've met student athletes that have been homeschooled. And I used to think that, like, man, if you're homeschooled, then you don't have a chance to play at Division I level. Bull crap. They find a way. You can find a way as well. So whether that be an AAU team, whether it be a traveling team, whatever it needs to be for you to start playing against Division I talent, you have to find that. You have to figure that out fast. All right? Because if not, then you're not. If you've only been playing against Division III level talent, people that are just high school, they just play in high school and they don't have the skill set to go on to the next level, and that's where you measure your success, or that's your metrics of if you can make it Division I, you're fooling yourself. You got to play against the people that are already Division I, being recruited by Division I, or a trainer that has trained players to be Division I, something, but you just can't think because you practice that you just gonna have that chance. The 5th point I want to make is understanding how big grades are. No matter how you skin it, you got to understand that when you get to the bigger schools you want to go to, the ones you see on TV, the UCLAs, the Dukes, the Texas, the University of Oklahomas, the Michigan States, their classroom size are large. You may be in a classroom, lecture hall, where there's 200 other students. So that means that if you can't retain the information, if you can't read at a rate that is going to be applicable to you being able to retain the information, then it's going to be tougher for you. Does that mean it's impossible? No, it's not going to be impossible, but it's going to be tougher for you. So understand that when you're in high school, when you're in middle school, it sounds like I'm trying to be funny, and I'm not. But knowing how to read at a level that you're supposed to be at will save you time as far as comprehension. And this is not me talking bad about someone. I didn't read my first book of size until I was a junior in college. And that's not something I'm proud of, but please believe me, I worked hard to get through college because I didn't do a good job of having a healthy diet of reading when I was younger. So learn from my experience and understand that if you're preparing for the long haul of playing Division I sports, you need to be prepared to understand that you need to also understand that reading is important, knowing how to retain information the best for you is important, knowing how to study. It looks different for everybody. Some people can study with the radio on, they can listen to podcasts, they can listen to their favorite music, whatever. And some people, like myself, I don't even want to hear myself breathe when I read. I don't want to hear, because anything will throw me off. And if that's you need to figure that out before you get to college, because that will help you, especially if you're trying to go to Division I where the numbers are larger, where the lecture halls are larger, where some professors may not even know your name other than seeing it on the roster. They don't have time to be talking to you individually because they have 100 other students just for that class alone. If this is the Division I thing you really want, then you got to be prepared for that. All that sounds great. All that sounds nice. It sounds amazing. But pick the school. When all the smoke settles, the mature person picks the school that's best fit for them. The best fit for them. And that may not be Division I. And that's fine. The opportunity that you get to actually play sports for another 4 years at any school, is nothing short than a blessing, nothing short than an opportunity of a lifetime. And I need to make sure that you know that. So though this video, 99% of this video is telling you if you just had to go Division I, I just gotta go Division I. I gave you the steps on how to do that. Assuming you have the size, the skill set, the speed, the talent, assuming you have all those things and you have all 5 of these things, but maybe you're not a Division I athlete, and that's fine too. There's still a lot more opportunities on the table for you. I myself took a part of a full ride scholarship starting off at a junior college and then went on to a Division II school, and I have no regrets. But I understand how it feels to want to play Division I, and there's nothing wrong with that. But those 5 steps I gave you today will help you do just that.